Hello, everyone, and welcome to Telling Tales. Here we tell atmospheric stories together through the medium of tabletop roleplay. You're here with us on a Monday, which means you are watching us play Call of Cthulhu 7th edition, created by Chaosium. So this is the second arc in an anthology series in which I am the keeper. So we have different players and a different story and different characters over the different arcs. So the first arc, Darkwood, is available in full on our YouTube channel. It's 8 episodes, so do go check that out if you haven't watched that yet. This arc is called Fingask, after the castle at which so far all of the story is set. So I'd like to introduce our stream manager, John. Hi, John.
Hello.
Are you all right?
I'm not too bad. I'm
Good.
full of hay fever, but
I think I had some hay fever last week, having not experienced hay fever since I was probably in primary school. And I think it's just because I've moved slightly more out into the countryside rather than being in a city centre. So
possibly this is the first year I've been super affected by it, and I don't like it.
yeah, I wasn't a fan. I was all, especially, with everything else that's going on, waking up with a scratchy throat and a bit of a headache was not a particularly pleasant thing. But fortunately, it ain't that. So that's good. So any images that come up on screen, John will be providing. John will also be providing camera switch arounds and rules clarifications in our chat so that we can just keep the story barreling along at the always incredibly fast pace that this story moves along at. So thanks, John. John has also drawn the majority of the images that you will see on screen because he's a wonderful artist.
Thank you.
And an average stream manager. So thanks, John.
Thanks.
Yeah. Good. So if you look down below the stream, there are links to our social media, so Twitter and Instagram and all that. That if you are watching us on Twitch, there is a link below to our YouTube. If you are watching us on YouTube, there is a link below to our Twitch. And if you are watching on YouTube, please do come check us out on the Twitch stream, and you can chat to us and ask us questions and stuff, which we'll answer at the end, which is nice. And if you are watching this on Twitch, then please check out the YouTube for some series that you might not have seen. Everything is uploaded on there a couple of days after it's streamed, so you're always able to catch up. There is also a link to our Discord, which you can join for free and come and chat to us about all things tabletop role playing and otherwise. Sometimes it's silly, sometimes it's serious, just like life. There is also a link to our Patreon, which has numerous different levels of rewards, some of which you can get access to different bits of our Discord where you get sort of backstage info and information before other people about things that happen on the channel. All the way up to having Matt, who runs other games on here, running a monthly game for you and your friends, which is very exciting. Matt has run a number of games that I have played in before, and they're always wonderful. If you haven't seen Matt run any games, then boy howdy do I have some info for you. So other shows that happen on the channel, here's where things get a little confusing. On a Tuesday night, normally it's Vampire the Masquerade, but there's a little break from that going on at the moment as they've come to the end of a story arc. So starting this week, as in tomorrow, they are going to be running some Blades in the Dark, which is very exciting, and I can't wait to see. And then normally on a Wednesday is Simba Room, which is a Free League dark fantasy game. But again, that's reached the end of a story arc. So this week there's going to be a kind of roundtable conversation chat about the role-playing world and news therein. And next week they're beginning Coriolis, which is a Free League game again, but set in space instead of a forest. Other things that happen are monthly. On the first Saturday of every month, there is a one-shot adventure which runs for quite a lot of the afternoon. So that's the first Saturday of every month. So the next one is this coming Saturday, June the 5th. So previous things that have been run are Alien, Troika, Morkborg, and Fiasco. And this Saturday, Chris, who plays in Simbaroom, is going to be running The Expanse, which is based on the books and or television show of the same name. So if you're a fan of those things, or space, or tabletop role-playing, or Chris, then please check that out this coming Saturday. And bi-weekly on a Sunday, we have a guest spot on the Free League Twitch running Simbaroom. The story is called Fetters of Stone, and this Sunday is an on Sunday. So yes, The Expanse on Saturday. Right, let's go from the Call of Cthulhu today, Blades in the Dark tomorrow, a roundtable conversation about role-playing on Wednesday, The Expanse on Saturday, and Simbaroom on Sunday. That's all of it for the week. So you can have Thursday and Friday off. You're welcome. Good. So, recaps. So, last week there was a lot of interplayer character conversation after, at the end of the previous week's session, all the lights had gone off in the castle as everybody had been about to go to bed, and what sounded like a conversation between a person and maybe something else seemed to happen in potentially a basement area below the castle. So if Matt can come on, who plays Samuel. Hey, Matt.
Hello.
So tell us about the beginning of last week and Samuel's experience therein.
Yeah, sure. So I think everyone was still in their rooms after the noise, and there was a sort of wheel squeaking noise once again, and then the sound of the downstairs door opening, closing, locking, and then some footsteps downstairs. So Edmund, Eliza, Albert sort of poked their heads out their room to have a bit of a look, and Samuel was kind of trying to play it cool and look outside, see what was happening, but he was trying to play it very, very cool. Edmund grabbed his torch and Eliza grabbed her camera, and I think they kind of agreed to maybe go and try and find John Stewart or see what was going on, basically trying to establish what had happened. There was no sign of Sir John, but Eliza felt that the sort of footsteps that she'd heard downstairs were kind of inconsistent with the space that they found themselves in downstairs. And this was kind of troubling her, and she felt like, you know, there was something else going on that we couldn't really establish, and that the whole thing seemed quite theatrical. But when Eliza kind of asked Samuel if he had any experience in this kind of area or anything similar had come up in his works, he suggested that it might have just been the acoustics, and sort of was quite dismissive really of the whole thing, and decided to head upstairs and get to an early night, leaving the rest of the group downstairs.
Yeah, Samuel basically sort of denied having heard anything weird at all, didn't he?
Yeah, flat out denial.
Which had an interesting effect on the opinions of some of the rest of the group on what they thought Samuel's involvement with Sir John Stewart might have been. So if Inga can come on, who plays Eliza. Hi, Inga.
Hi.
So, yeah, give us a bit of a rundown on sort of Eliza's thoughts on what was going on.
Yeah, so definitely suspicious of Samuel and his apparent, selective deafness with these strange goings on. Because the rest of us certainly thought that it was very definite sounds. Was no doubt about it. Very surprised that he claimed not to have heard it. Didn't seem very likely at all. Eliza had also kind of, as the rest of us had sort of like followed down some of the stairs, had kind of tried to explain that she'd heard, the footsteps and sort of heard the unlocking of the door, and tried to kind of suss out where that sort of should have been, to see if she could see the door and, try and explore further. But then got very confused as well about the fact that there didn't seem to be a door where there should be. There was just a sort of table with a vase full of flowers in the hallway at about the kind of place where it felt like, judging by the sound of the footsteps and where she'd heard the noises, that there should have been a door, and there wasn't, like, on the other side of the hallway, there wasn't anything there. So there was a lot of suspicion about this vase of flowers, which seemed somehow wrong given what had been heard. And yeah, I think the rest of us, after Samuel had kind of turned around and gone to bed, kind of wondering whether he was maybe in on it, whether there was some sort of joke being played on us by Sir John Stewart, and whether Samuel was part of that somehow, like a plant in the guests been invited, or something along those lines. But so we carried on kind of searching a bit through the rest of the house. Albert kind of charging ahead, just calling out for Sir John to see if he could, come across him. We went kind of back through the drawing room, saw that the doors were open, kind of followed through where it looked like someone else had been, given the doors had all been closed when we last saw them. Ended up back in the dining room, and then felt kind of a chill wind, realised that an exterior door that had definitely been previously closed was now open. And so we kind of went a bit further to go and explore coming across Sir John.
Yeah. So if Steve can come on, he plays Edmund. Hello, Steve.
Hi there.
So Edmund headed out to chat with Sir John with Albert, I believe.
Yes, we headed outside. So we found Sir John standing outside the castle with the front door open, and he was staring out into the sky. So Albert asked about the events of a few minutes ago. He asked about the lights going out and the noise that we heard. And Sir John explained that possibly because of neuroses he'd picked up from his father due to an unfortunate incident with a family member, he feels compelled every night to check that the gas system in the house can be turned off if needs be. And because he'd temporarily forgotten that we were in residence that evening, he'd forgotten to explain it, that would be happening. So that sort of cleared that one up. Albert pressed him about the noise that we mostly all heard, but Sir John denied knowledge. He didn't reveal any more details about that. So Albert then pressed him about whether this was all some sort of trick, some sort of theatre, to make the reveal that had been delayed more impressive. But Sir John replied with that there'll be no need for tricks once everything becomes apparent. And at that point, Edmund was looking past Sir John and into the sky. And just for a very brief moment, all of the constellations in the sky just seemed to be just wrong, just out of place, just unrecognizable. But Edmund blinked and the sky returned to normal. So he put it down to the drink and the cigars. And shortly afterwards, we went back inside, and Edmund headed to get some much needed rest.
Yep. So then, after Edmund and Albert had headed inside, I think if Sam can come on, he plays Albert.
Hello.
Hi, Sam. So Albert decided to arm himself and
So I was feeling
check on his man.
So Albert was really rather unsettled by this whole turn of events, and then when he got downstairs, he finally decided it was probably all a big trick, to kind of make all this seem even more exciting. But then the fact that Sir John Stewart wasn't even there when we came downstairs to laugh at us all kind of made me think otherwise. So Albert is still unsettled. So he decided the best thing to do was go find his man in the lodgings, the kind of staff lodgings over the way towards the loch. and see if he could pick up his gun and also just check everything was all right. So Albert kind of snuck through the house a bit, trying to avoid running into anyone, mainly Sir John, and head down to the lodgings in the night. Had a quick chat with Willie, my kind of cart driver and personal assistant, I suppose, in this situation. And he seemed everything was fine. He was kind of surprised at how rattled I seemed, I think, because Albert's not usually the sort of person to be actively nervous or unsettled. It's usually quite jovial. So, but yeah, he didn't have anything else to report otherwise. Everything seemed normal there apparently, and I asked him to keep an eye out, and then took my I think my 38 revolver. Mm-hmm. It is, yeah. And head back up to the main house. I believe Eliza was searching the kind of vase downstairs. Well, Albert didn't actually run into that. Albert was kind of coming upstairs when Eliza was just heading into the room. I don't think Eliza found anything on the vase. Is that right, Inga? You didn't.
She'd heard Sir John kind of pause around that general area again, let out a sigh, and then head upstairs. Yeah. She kind of checked around, but found nothing odd.
Indeed. So, Albert came upstairs. I think Eliza was comforted to find it was Albert and not something else weird and creepy going down the night. And then we settled down for bed. And yeah, then next morning was I slept in a bit, but otherwise was fairly uneventful. We had some entertaining natters at breakfast. I believe there was some excellent scientist jibes going on in there. So if you missed that last time, you have to go back and see that, because that was just amazing. My camera's going funny. There we go. And then we kind of split up. So annoyingly, Sir John is not revealing anything to us yet. He didn't reveal anything at breakfast, which was kind of irritating, and said, "Oh, the big reveal will come soon." Keeps holding us in suspense. So he suggested we all come watch some tennis for the morning. Albert didn't really fancy that, and he thought he might go fishing instead. And he wasn't really sure whether that meant fishing or kind of fishing around to see what else was going on in this weird place. And as it turns out, Eliza liked the sound of the second one of those, if not perhaps the first one. So she joined me. And we head over to the staff place again, caught Willie, picked up my fishing rods. He didn't have anything else to report particularly there. And then kind of wandered up to get on the boats. I'd say Albert and Eliza got on pretty well. And then, went on to the boat. Were fishing for a while, had a few little catches, and then saw something really weird by the is it a cairn or like a burial mound thing?
It's an Iron Age fort.
Iron Age fort. Sorry, I couldn't remember, but it does have like an entrance to it underground.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I saw something very interesting going into that. Something that didn't look very human. Something.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And that was where we left the last session.
I didn't roll any sanity for that.
No.
Oh, okay.
You're also all waiting for one of Sir John's colleagues to arrive at some point as well, which is why he said he's not announcing yet.
Yes,
so, Albert and Eliza, you have just seen something heading into that Iron Age fort. What I would say that you have seen is hind legs of something quite large.
Did it look like an animal? Or was it just impossible to tell from this distance or something?
Probably an animal. Definitely not a human. Okay. Probably an animal. Looked like hind legs. Quite large.
Okay. No large animal would just go into a fort like that. That's so weird. I feel like Albert's probably staring open mouthed for a moment.
You saw that too, right?
I'll kind of look rapidly over at you, shaking the boat, and then, yes.
Well,
back to shore, quick.
Rowing.
Yeah. Do a rowing check.
Yeah.
Are you heading back to the boathouse?
Is that like the easiest way back to? I'm just heading straight for the fort.
Yeah, so the most direct route towards the fort, I think.
Yeah, okay. I think Albert and Eliza are on the same page here.
Yeah, so you were sort of quite near the opposite shore to the boathouse, so you could just rock up onto that shore and pull the boat slightly ashore and then head
Yeah.
off that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Albert draws his gun. That was.
So you head along the edge of the stream, which is coming out from the lock, and you pass kind of a couple of smaller lakes along this way. You go past the residence of Stuart's house.
Maybe I don't draw my gun then.
I was going to say, if that's sort of en route, I might say, you seem like the sort of chap who'd have been prepared for hunting.
Yes, you're quite right.
I don't suppose you have any spare.
I mean, in the main lodge, but I think we better go find out what's going on down there now. Just stay behind me. I'm sure we'll be fine. It might escape whatever the hell it is.
Okay, so you get to the sort of square opening to the hill fort. It's dark inside.
I am first making sure Eliza is behind me, being unable to do otherwise. Do we have any? I don't think either of us will carry any sort of light other than the matches that I have, I presume.
That's up to you. If you think you might have brought another lighting implement out.
Probably not now.
Not during the day, no.
I feel like Albert's not going to light a match when he walks in because he knows it's probably better to just walk in and use as much light as you can until it's pitch black. So he's going to just kind of... And I think before Albert walks in, he's going to kind of call out fairly tentatively, but it's still loud because it's Albert, and just go, "Hello there? Anybody there?"
You hear sort of scuffling footsteps about 50 feet in front of you.
Do they sound like they're coming towards me?
Just kind of probably side to side, sort of not really getting any closer or further away.
I'll look over at Eliza and just say, "Do you think there's another exit to this structure?"
Would there be any kind of historical knowledge about these sorts of things that we'd have?
I would be happy for you to make. Is there a history stat?
I guess I'd make it 2, even though I have none of it.
Yeah, there's a history.
Yeah, you can make a roll on that.
38, and I needed 55 to pass.
Okay. So there may not have been one when this was initially made, but this is very old. So it could be that sort of areas might have caved in or something over time, depending on how well the proprietors have sort of kept up the maintenance of it. So probably not as intended, but there may still be.
I expect this is probably a one way in, one way out sort of thing, unless there's something that's fallen in, or I don't know. But I thought this would be the only way back out again, possibly to our benefit, possibly a scary thought.
Do the scrabbling feet sound like... Does it sound at all like a human would if they were just like dashing around or something? Because I imagine we could kind of guess at that from the sound.
Boots, buses, steps, sorts of. Yeah.
Too many feet.
Okay, in that case, Albert will not call out again.
Mm.
Oh.
I think we won't know what it is unless we go forward a bit more.
Albert is definitely buoyed by that and moves forward. Is it pitch black inside?
Yeah, after about 15 feet or so.
Okay, and are the feet still pattering around?
Yes, there's still the sound of movement.
Does it sound like we're getting closer to that sound as we move in towards that 15 feet?
Yes.
Okay, as I get to kind of where it's basically no vision, I will light a match.
Okay. as you do that, you see in a flash, basically, as the match lights, you see a set of green eyes looking directly at you. And then can you make a dodge roll, both of you?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I actually passed and I have a low dodge.
Nice.
Yeah, 35, and I needed 37. So that was a close call.
Okay. You are both sort of grazed. So you'll both lose 1 health point as this sort of large black figure charges past you out of the fort.
I will try and get a shot, but I imagine I will miss.
Make me a hard shot,
Mm-hmm.
please.
Okay. Ah, no. Just
No. Okay. Are you running outside after this thing?
Yeah. Although I imagine Eliza might beat me because she's kind of back out a bit from me.
Okay. So what you see running away towards the wood, which is to the east of you, is some kind of big cat.
I will absolutely take another shot. The damn thing swiped at me.
You also hear some commotion coming from up near the house and from Sir Stuart's house as well. Basically, Samuel and Edmund, your group have heard a gunshot, and Sir John basically sets off, sort of running at the pace that he can in that direction. Cool. Yes, make me another hard shot, I would say, as this is cool. a moving target.
Yeah, absolutely. Was it big cat, you said? What? As in any sort of big cat we recognize? Is it too quick to recognize it?
It's got relatively far away from you, but, you know, a sort of the kind of wild cat, sort of large wild cat that you might get in the Scottish Highlands in the 1920s. You wouldn't be completely blown away by seeing it as if it were walking through a city centre now, shall we say.
Okay. In that case, I probably won't spend luck to try and kill it.
Have you hit it?
No, I almost hit it, and I was debating spending luck.
The other group have sort of appeared at the top of the drop down into the area with the lock, and you see this four-legged creature disappear into the wood at the east of the grounds, and Albert with his gun.
So we got
both Albert and Eliza potentially sort of cradling a slight wound somewhere on their body.
Yeah, that was what I was wondering. Okay.
Sir John shouts down, Are you okay down there? Mr. Moore? Miss Smith?
I just put my gun away and then go, yes, indeed. Okay. Sorry, I hope I didn't disturb your game.
No, don't be silly. I'll get my gun. And
do you get big cats like this often? Is that a common sight around these parts?
There's been a couple of sightings, but just give me a moment. And he runs off to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Eliza's probably a bit more shocked by something like this than Albert is, because she's very much more from the cities. So yeah, probably has not seen something like this before.
At the suggestion of Stuart getting his gun, I'll kind of turn around and be like, "Ah, Willie!" and kind of be shouting off towards the lodge.
Okay. What are Edmund and Samuel doing?
I think Edmund will have leant across and said, "I take it you heard that, Mr. Thomas."
I absolutely did. I thought they were fishing.
Yeah. I guess. I guess they changed their preference. Seemed like a big creature.
Yeah, I didn't catch it, but I guess they do have big cats around here.
Still, I hope they're all right.
Sir John kind of marches past where you were previously, with his gun sort of up on his shoulder, looking ready for trouble, and drops down the path into the lower area, says, "Mr. Moore, are you and Miss Smith okay?"
Presumably by now, I've also got my shotgun.
Looks like you've both sustained an injury. I can only apologise.
Is nothing. Let's kill the damn beast.
Very good. Miss Smith, if you want medical attention, please go up to the house and one of the staff will take care of you.
Oh no, I'm fine. Thank you so much, but I might go and watch the tennis after all. Bit exciting for me, that.
I think Albert has another gun on his back and gestures at the two gentlemen, the other two gentlemen. Or any other gentleman. Presumably Robert's there as well.
Robert is there, although he arrives slightly later. He's not able to move as quickly as some of the rest of the group. But yes, he has arrived.
I must confess, I'm not much of a shot. My only training was with handguns.
Nor I. But I can carry something for you.
I think Albert just goes, "Your loss," with a shell in his teeth, and the other one kind of jamming it in.
Robert looks like he's about to be interested, and then anybody paying attention sees Mary sort of squeeze his hand a little, sort of to the point where he's slightly uncomfortable, and he doesn't say anything. So Albert and Sir John going off into the woods alone?
Seems like it. I wasn't intending to bring anyone else.
Okay. Can we drop to just Sam and I on the stream, John, please, I think, for this?
I think Albert has been really kind of ridiculed a bit. Not ridiculed, not exactly the word I'm looking for, but you know what I mean. He feels a bit silly after having been so worked up over this damn cat. And then it's scratched him as well that he's just really wants vengeance for that now, after having been creeped out recently too. So...
Okay. Sir John says, "Right, Mr. Moore, point to where it went into the woods and I'll follow your lead."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay. So you're kind of quietly moving through the undergrowth, looking out for a sight of this thing. Can you make a spot hidden roll?
Mm-hmm.
Or a listen roll, whichever is the better for you, actually.
I fail both. It's Albert's thing, failing these.
Okay. A couple of minutes pass and you're sort of moving around and haven't managed to spot anything. Mm-hmm. Sir John says, it's never a nice thing to hear a gunshot on your property when you're not expecting it, Mr. Moore. I'm glad to see that you're relatively unscathed.
Yes, the damn thing unsettled us. Apologies for making you all charge down here.
No problem. I'm sure there's probably worse things you could run into.
Indeed.
Do you want to make another roll?
Yep.
For listen or spot hidden?
Mm-hmm. Ooh, 91.
Okay. I rolled an 80 for Sir John, so no look there either.
There's no cat in this cat, or whatever it is. Probably cat.
He says he's kind of keeping a low conversation with you and says, "Did you sleep well after I saw you last night?"
Took some time to fall asleep, but yes, I barely made it down for breakfast in the end.
Sorry again about the noise. As I say, I just well, a neurosis, shall we say?
It's very strange to see one going in an old fort like that. Never seen that before. You know, so near people and everything.
I wondered about the staff using it for shindigs and leaving food in there or other such things. Do you want to make another roll?
Yep. It's not meant to be. I actually leveled up my spot hidden too.
Sir John spins to the left and cracks a shot off. So you can react and go that way. So if you make an easy spot hidden roll.
Yep, absolutely. Way, you made it.
Cool. Do you want to roll for your shooting then?
Yep.
With your...
Yep. Nice and easy. I've got good on that.
Cool.
And
then
some dice to do damage. Oh.
Yeah, your damage roll. That's not
what's
a
the
D100.
distance?
We'll say 40 feet.
Okay, 40 feet. So in yards. No, it's good.
Yeah, 15 yards, we'll say.
Yeah. Oh, it's a lot of D6s. It's only 2d6 to fair. Oh, but that's a high roll. 11.
Okay. Yes, I also rolled pretty well for Sir John. So between the two of you, he sort of hits it in the hindquarters, and you hit it sort of center of mass, and it just flops to the ground.
Albert goes, take that, you blighter.
Yes. Good.
I will wander up to it and give it a poke with my gun to check if it's dead and then have a closer look.
Yes, it's definitely dead. So it's basically it is a looks kind of like lynxy style big cat. You might not know exactly what type of cat it is, and Sir John certainly doesn't.
Yeah.
No. But he says, "Nasty looking blighter.
Indeed.
Look nice on my wall, though."
How big is it? Is it like
it's
easily heftable, or like
sort of human size? If if you were laying down next to it, it would be sort of the same size as you.
In that case, I'll look at Sir John and be like, "Help me take it back. Don't mind."
Absolutely. So you kind of both lug it up. So I think if everyone else can come back on. What were the rest of you doing in that sort of 5 minutes? Do you think you were just waiting?
I think if any of the group had gone, in a particular direction, say back to the tennis side, I think Samuel would have followed the larger group.
Yeah, I think probably assuming that we were heading back in that direction, would have gone through there as well.
If Eliza was coming over, I'd go to greet her and check she was okay.
The Duchess and Robert and Mary show no signs of moving from where they are. They're kind of looking towards the woods. Obviously, they're not going to see anything because they're much further in, but I'm kind of watching for what's going on. rather than heading back towards the tennis courts.
In that case, I think Samuel will, if Eliza is still there, will go up to Eliza and kind of say, "So, what exactly did you see?"
Well, we weren't entirely sure at first. We were out on the boat. As said, we went fishing, but we just saw something dart in and rushed back to shore, crept in through that little fort that Sir John was showing us the other night, last night, and well, we saw it almost up close before it rushed back out again, and Albert took Mr. Moore took a shot, and next thing we know, they were off in the woods and shooting again, I suppose. But some sort of big cat. It was big and black. I had not seen anything like that before, personally, but I don't know if that's common around these parts. Or have you seen anything like that before?
Not at all. Seems vicious. I mean, I suppose Albert looks like he knows what he's doing.
He seemed rather confident. I mean, I got a bit of a knock as it came running past us. It certainly got a bit of a graze, but scary cats.
Is Eliza sort of obviously? Does she look like she needs kind of medical attention, or is it literally just a kind of graze?
She's got a little bit of blood on her arm, but it's not like gushing with blood, but it probably does want, maybe bandaging up at some point and cleaning.
Perhaps someone at the cottage is going to help you with that.
Maybe just looking down now, like for the first time, I'm properly looking at it. Like, yes, I suppose maybe I best get it covered up properly.
Let me go see if I can find someone.
Just as you say that, you hear a loads of birds flying out of the woods.
Hope they got that beast.
Samuel definitely jumps.
Yeah, I guess we'll head back, maybe with Samuel then, in the direction to go get something bandaged up.
Yep. So Robert, Mary, and the Duchess show no inclination to move. Is Edmund going with Eliza and Samuel, or staying here, do you think?
I think I'll probably go with Eliza and Samuel.
Okay. So as you head back towards the house, there is presumably a member of staff gardener dealing with the topiary that's outside the front of the castle. And he hears you sort of crunching on the stones and turns and nods at you. Then you spot sort of just a bit further back alongside the house a hare, as in like a rabbit style hare, not like a single hare, just kind of staring at you three walking up the path. Its ear sort of twitches, unblinking, just staring.
That's rather friendlier, although...
Seems quite brave.
Yeah. I suppose it must be used to the people around the house.
The gardener hears you and kind of looks down the side of the house and sees the hare and turns around to you and says, there's a local folk tale. What's the wording now? Those with whom the hare is besotted are said to be cursed. Their minds soon to be lost. And by the time the hare is interested in you, you may already be having hallucinations of an auditory or visual manner brought on by the curse. Then he looks back at the hare, and if you look at the hare, you see it's still just looking at you. And its ear twitches again. He turns back to you and says, "I'm sure that's all just nonsense."
Can I try and
carries on clipping his topiary.
Can I try and read on him, see how much I think he's like teasing versus like, deadly serious?
Sure, yeah, make a psychology roll.
Oh, no.
Oh, these lovely folk tales are, the sound I like to think about when I go to sleep.
No, I don't pass that. 58 out of 40.
Yeah, you're not really sure whether he's winding you up or not.
Maybe just chuckle lightly, but eye the hair a little bit. Maybe a bit big, making moves, maybe in a slightly more of a zigzag, heading back towards the house, see if it follows.
Peek around the corner.
Yeah.
It basically follows the sort of group center until the group is out of sight.
He probably feeds it.
It's bloody folk nonsense.
Well,
I'm gonna break convention here and leave this up to you as to whether you think you should make a sanity roll for that exchange.
Well, yeah, I'll
It's
go
a bit creepy. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, Eliza's just been attacked by a wild cat, and now there's mad hares.
Awful.
Terrifying.
I trust you all as players enough to allow that as a as a playoff.
Nope. I rolled an 86.
I rolled a 5. So
I failed mine also.
Okay, failures just lose 1 sanity. And pass, you're just a bit creeped out.
have you heard any stories like this, Mr. Thomas?
10 a penny. 10 a penny.
Oh, right. Okay.
Isn't it your business to believe these sorts of stories, Mr. Thomas? You seem very blasé about all of this.
Well, overexposure. But it was looking at us, wasn't it?
It was. I've really lived all my life in the cities. I'm not used to wildlife like this. I wouldn't have thought that was normal, but certainly, well, I suppose he looks funny, but I'm used to those sorts of things on my plate, not out in the wild.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what their normal behavior is.
Cursed. Can't say I much believe in those sorts of things, but I am a little unnerved, I must confess.
Shall we perhaps find a different staff member to help you with your graze?
Yes, I think that's a very good idea.
I still have some training. I might be able to assist if you need a spot of first aid.
Oh, thank you ever so much. Yes, thank you.
Do you have any first aid stuff? Does Edmund have any first aid stuff like bandages, etc.?
What? Oh, hello. Let's say yes. I think I'll. Okay. I'm reasonably well prepared. I think I'll have brought.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine then. You can go to the rooms and do that if you so please, rather than needing to have an exchange with any other sort of house staff.
Samuel will look over his shoulder before he goes in. And then
shall I make a first aid roll?
Yes, please.
This is where it goes horribly wrong, of course, but we'll see. Yes. No, I needed 40. I got 72.
Okay.
I'm a little bit out of practice, it seems.
Yeah. So you kind of you managed to bandage up, but it doesn't have any mechanical effect currently. But you've done enough to clean it that it will sort itself out, and that will sort of recover itself over time. So it's not going to become infected, but it's just not made it totally better yet.
Yes, I'm sorry, Miss Smith. I'm, as I say, a little out of practice. It's been some time since I had to do this.
Oh no, you've done a smashing job. Thank you. Much better than
it probably is. It probably is slightly sort of stinging and a little more sore than it was beforehand, but you can tell that it's clean and
Oh, even if it didn't feel better, should be polite.
So by the time that has happened, Albert and Sir John have emerged from the woods with a big cat around their shoulders or in their hands, however they're carrying it. Robert lets out a giant cheer. Oh! Oh, the valiant hunters return. Oh,
I'll
Mary,
be kind.
I can't
kind of
believe
beaming.
that you kept me away from this. And she rolls her eyes again. I think Edmund, Eliza, and Samuel, if you were heading back out, you probably, as you're sort of approaching the front door, you hear Robert exclaim as they exit the wood. The Duchess says, that is quite impressive. Albert probably doesn't hear. Neither does Sir John. It's probably only Robert and Mary that heard that, to be honest. Yes, you see her as you get nearer. She's kind of got a slightly admiring look in her eyes. Albert would see.
Albert's smiling a lot now, but he's not saying anything. Maybe he just lights a cigar with his free hand. He doesn't say anything else.
Sir John, sort of as you head up the path towards the group, says, "My hunting partner and I here have managed to fell the beast. Wasn't all that challenging, actually, was it, Mr. Moore?"
No, not really. Didn't seem to fight back or anything. Was just trying to get out of the forest, but couldn't let it get away. Damn thing might kill someone if it comes here again.
Absolutely. And now, hopefully everybody will feel safe to roam the grounds as they please. Or indeed the village, of course. This thing could have made it down into Rate and caused havoc.
Very true. Done a service to the village there, I suppose we have.
Right. Mr. Moore, leave this here, and I'll get some people from the house to sort this out, and perhaps it will be a new decoration in the dining hall by tomorrow.
I'll drop it, and I think Albert has one final look over it. Has he ever seen a cat like this, like when he's been hunting before?
Similar. It's not. It doesn't look weird in any
There's
way.
nothing remarkable about it. Okay, that was what he was thinking. Yeah, it was just strange where it was. That was all. So okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
As he's heading over towards the house, Albert, you spot sort of just past him up towards the house. There's a hare just looking in your direction.
I suspect Albert's probably heading back to the lodge actually to give his shotgun back, so he might not see the hare at this point.
Okay. Yes, after Sir John and Albert have gone, the Duchess says, "That really is quite impressive, isn't it?" She kind of pokes it a bit with her foot. Sometimes people can surprise you.
It does seem big, doesn't it?
Well, it's certainly not a domestic cat, Mr. Thomas.
There we are, I suppose.
I think I might go trouble the staff for a lemonade. She heads off towards the house. Robert says, "Oh, that's a wonderful idea, but let's wait for Albert, shall we, Mary?" She says, yes. Let's wait for Albert.
Well, Jamie's going to put the gun away. Actually, there's a not so nice looking hare over by the house. I think he would make for some fine fine hunting for his next quarry, but maybe later.
Robert and Mary and the Duchess turn to look and go, seems to be gone now, if it was there before.
Oh, a fine hunter like Mr. Moore, I'm sure it won't put him off. Let's just have to keep our eyes out, won't we?
Can I sort of look as well? And has it gone? Can I?
It has gone. Yes.
Good.
Albert's probably been walking pretty briskly, so I imagine he's kind of back now, having put the gun back.
Robert says, "Good work on that, Albert."
Well,
Very
to
good
be fair, so John got the first shot. I just finished the damn thing off. Still, it's done now. No need to worry, Miss Smith.
Thank you. I do feel a little more at ease, especially having seen the size of that thing up close. But
I know, it wouldn't have taken much for it to tear a man's throat out. Thankfully, though, everyone around here is safe now. Unless there's anything else about. Still strange to see it in there, even as John said, if it was looking for food or something, you'd think it would have been scared. I've never known them to be anywhere near people like this before. Not that I'm an expert, I suppose, but
it might be worthwhile going back with having a proper look around and seeing whether it had made a home there.
Not a bad idea.
We could. Did you bring your torch with you?
I can go and get it. That's.
Oh yes, I suppose we're close enough to the house now. I might go get mine as well. So I might go head back upstairs and grab my torch and also my handgun. And the binoculars that I have as well. Get myself out. But...
If I'm heading back up to the house because I think I was fancying a drink now, I don't see anything strange if I'm wandering by myself or with a few of these folks as I go up to the house.
No, so the whole group probably heads up together. But no, nothing strange. So there's still a gardener sort of clipping the topiary. He doesn't say anything as you head to the house.
Albert dodged the bullet. Got it.
Give that gardener a very sideways glance as we walk back in.
I'll tell you what, Albert's probably vaguely paying attention to Eliza, so he's like, problems with that one?
I'll tell you when we get in. And I'll relay it as we're heading up the stairs.
Okay. Very odd.
Yes, something about hallucinations and curses and things. Honestly, I wouldn't have given this sort of thing much thought at all, but really, if you'd seen the way that thing was looking at us, it was uncanny. It was bizarre. It was...
Yeah, they usually just run at the sight of people for miles.
Well, that's what I would have thought as well. Yes, precisely.
As you say, it sounds like some sort of trick. I'll bet he was feeding it or something. But how would he make it stare? Very clever. This all seems... I still think they're trying to unsettle us somehow here.
I do wonder whether words got round.
Indeed.
We've been asking questions about sounds and things. Could all be part of the performance.
Very cruel joke, if so.
Yes,
I agree. Anyway, let's go get a drink, shall we?
All right. And then, would you like to join us, having a little look back at the fort again, Mr. Moore?
Yes, perhaps. That's actually a good idea. I'd be curious. Depends what Sir John's got planned, though, I suppose. His big reveal was due sometime soon, correct?
Yeah. How much time has passed overall, actually, Jonny? Will it be?
So you're nearing lunchtime. So at the point that you were, well, at the beginning of this session, it was about 10:30. So yeah, you're coming up to sort of 11:30 now, heading towards lunchtime. As you head into the dining hall, kitchen staff are bringing out jugs of freshly made lemonade, and there's the offer of hot drinks as well if people want it. You think the Duchess probably presumes that lemonade is the correct thing to have around games of tennis. And that might be why entirely propriety that has caused her to request a cold drink in December.
Yeah, I was going to say it is December, isn't it? I was weirded out by
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I'll definitely have a cup of tea and look strangely at her drinking lemonade.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a tea as well. Although fondly remembering the whiskey from last night.
Yeah.
Tea sounds good.
Sir John currently nowhere to be seen, but everybody else is sort of sitting around in here. The Duchess and Robert and Mary and the journalist are sat having a conversation together. And Thomas, the journalist, is saying, "Oh, I really wished I had my camera to get that, document some of that. I suppose I could get the carcass." "Yes, I'm going to go do that." And he runs off upstairs.
Oh, I was just about to offer him use of my camera, but off he goes, rushing off before I could get a word in edgewise.
Does
Oh, well.
he? So do we know where the carcass went? Albert's vaguely wondering as well while he dashed off. So
last you knew, it was still outside.
okay, cool. I will just vaguely be like, fair enough, and then leave him to it.
A couple of minutes later, he reappears and kind of charges across the dining hall. The Duchess looks at him and tuts as he runs past.
I think I might have finished my tea by now, so I'll kind of, assuming Sir John hasn't arrived, look at everyone else and say, shall we follow him and then go look at the this fort and see what's going on in there? Did one of you have a torch?
I do, yes. I can. I'll bring mine.
I've got mine now as well to hand.
Good. Yeah, perhaps both. Don't want to be jumped on by anything else in there.
Yes, I can bring along my camera unless you want to bring yours, Eliza.
Why not both?
Okay. Are they in your rooms? Is it going to be some time for you to nip up and grab those and return?
Okay. Can wait for you to come down.
So, by the time you head outside, there is no sign of Thomas anywhere. He could have gone back to the cottages, potentially. And the sort of body of the big cat is still lying there. And actually, as you step outside, a couple of sort of house staff run round from the back of the castle and head over towards that. And as you are sort of wandering over there, picking it up and taking it off, leaving a small blood stain on the floor where it was. So, are you heading straight down to the fort?
Have the Duchess and Mary and Robert followed at all as well, or
no, they've stayed in there.
Yeah.
The hunt is much more exciting than poking around inside a dirty hole in a hill for those people, I think.
Back to the fort.
Indeed. Still feel rather a fool for chasing the thing in there, but
No, absolutely not. You are quite the hunter, and up ahead you go, Mr. Moore, my protector.
I will hold my hand out for someone to give me a torch, unless someone else goes in front of me.
I'll hand mine over, although I won't really be far behind him.
Yeah, that's fine. I know. I think Albert chuckles and then holds the torch and then holds his gun in the other hand and walks straight in.
As you're heading down, just as you get to past sort of the last little lake before the entry to the fort, there is a member of house staff who looks to be either collecting some water or trying to use something to catch some fish. That's a sort of bucket thing, try and catch a fish maybe. And it's a young woman and she says, "Did you get the beastie?"
Aye, we did.
That's a relief.
You seen it before?
Aye. And, well, Sir John, he doesn't agree, but, well, one of us went missing, and I think it might have been that thing.
Good lord. And there was no effort to kill the damn thing before now?
Well, any time it's been seen, Sir John's tried after it, but it's got away. But
Oddly enough, it didn't
yes.
seem too hard to find.
Well, aye. The thing always seems to kind of be around here when it appears, and well, Thomas, this was the last place that he was seen.
Thomas?
Aye, the lad who disappeared. He well, Sir John had his suspicions, but we sometimes use the fort for we'll light some candles and have a bit of a soiree in there sometimes in an evening. It's just a fun setting, It's not anything wrong, but Thomas came down to get everything set up one time, and well, by the time we got here, he was gone, and nobody's seen him since.
How long ago was this?
Oh, let's see, 2 weeks.
And not a trace of him since then? No sign of anything unusual in here? No.
No sign.
So John is quite happy for you to come here unaccompanied after this.
I think you poor thing out here on your own after something like
Well, the beastie's gone now, eh?
You must have been terrified beforehand, though, I suppose.
I tended to stick to trying to catch things a bit further upstream.
I'm sorry, dear. What was your name?
Agnes.
It's lovely to meet you, Agnes. It means a lot.
You too.
I'm so sorry to hear about your friend Thomas. My condolences.
Thank you. Aye, I'll pass that on to everyone else, of course. I just still be careful, just in case,
Has anyone been back into the place since then?
Well, Sir John and a couple of other men initially to have a look around and check that, Thomas hadn't just sort of collapsed in there or something, but no, not since then. It's we didn't know if the beastie was sort of nesting in there, so.
How expansive is it inside?
Oh, it's not that big. 100 feet end to end, something like that.
Mr. Moore, are these usually solitary creatures, or could there be more than one?
I'm no naturalist. I've only seen them by themselves when I've hunted them, but I don't know if they live by themselves normally, honestly.
Well, all my instincts are to go in and have a look, but last time we did that, the thing attacked us. Although
I think we've got rather lucky, all things considered, Miss Smith, eh?
Yes, I think so. Well, we've got light now, which we didn't have before. It's some advantage.
I suspect Thomas wasn't armed. I will probably, assuming nothing else happens, kind of proceed in with the torch and the gun now.
Okay. So, you see a relatively large open space in here. Some areas which are slightly raised from the floor, and you presume were probably previously walls, or at least sort of areas to separate out different rooms for different purposes. There are a few tipped over candles, burnt to different heights. A couple of scraps of food and sort of bits of crockery around. And that's what you can see up to sort of 50 feet in.
Yep. I will keep going unless there's anything else that seems particularly interesting.
Okay. Is anyone else coming in, or is Albert doing an initial sweep alone?
No, I'll follow him.
Yeah, I'd have followed him too.
Samuel as well? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We can all disappear.
You keep moving in. Again, sort of wall partitions and stuff as you're moving into here. Are you just sort of walking in a straight line until you hit the back of this mound?
When you say wall partitions, is it like there's dark spaces and rooms that I can't see with a glance into? Or?
No, it's literally, I'm trying to, when you go to sort of an archaeological site and there are sort of bits this big that are sort of the bases of, it's that's what you've got kind of bits of dotted around.
Yeah, I think unless I see anything like an animal or signs of an animal or signs of a struggle or blood or something, I'll just keep going to the back and just shining my torch around.
Okay. So you get to the back. This sort of structure is not quite as wide as it is long, but a similar width. So it is quite a large space for you to be looking around. Are you going sort of any more in depth? Are you spending some time in here?
I think Albert's real objective is to see if it looked like it was made some sort of like nest or den in here, and search for like traces of the animal, or if there's like traces of other animals having been in here. That's what I'm looking for. Don't know what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, I'd be probably trying to do a sweep, sort of maybe heading off at a slight angle and sort of just trying to cover the ground, check the corners, and see whether there's anything, sort of obviously resident in here.
Okay.
I might, rather than looking for like sort of to the ground for things that there may be indications of the cat, like maybe just like not. I've obviously handed over my torch, so I don't have it to hand. But just as the light is kind of passing around, maybe looking more towards like the edges to see if it does look like there is any kind of other route off. Like just checking that it does seem to be kind of walled off or closed off all around.
I think Samuel is hanging back a little bit and kind of fiddling with his camera and just keeping an eye on everyone.
Okay. Would Edmund be going anywhere that leads him near a wall?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So there is no sign anywhere that any animal is nesting in here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So for those who are looking for that, 0. Samuel's not really looking and is just messing with his camera. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. Not looking in detail.
Eliza does spot, as she heads over towards one of the edges, there is sort of a small bit of light coming through from outside. At one of the sort of as it's dropping quite low to the floor. As she heads nearer, it's not something that's large enough really for something to use as another entrance or exit, unless it were sort of, I don't know,
hair-sized perhaps.
That sort of size or smaller. A mole could get in here, but that big cat couldn't, without bursting out through it and creating a bigger hole, and there'd be clear signs of, breakages and stuff
somewhere
in that kind of
Thomas
instance.
could have wandered or been dragged off or anything.
No. So, Steve, Edmund nears a wall towards the back, and spots a drawing on the wall of the same constellations that he had seen in a flash the night before. Can you make a sanity roll for Edmund, please?
Oh dear. I just miss 67 over 65. Yeah,
Okay.
fair. 64, in fact.
I think 2 sanity loss this time, please, for Edmund.
And I think the others will just sort of see me freeze, and the light will stay on the wall and just remain there.
Yeah, so anybody paying attention, you would see that, and you would, from pretty much anywhere in here, be able to see that there is some kind of drawing on the wall.
I think if Edmund stays there long enough, we probably all notice then, don't we? So I will I think before I look at what's on the wall, I'll say, Mr. Carter, you okay?
I think hearing that, perhaps I'll sort of come around and turn around to face Albert. Yes, although this drawing is, and I think perhaps I'll sort of head over to Albert and speak rather more softly. Where are the others in the room currently?
Eliza is over towards the opposite wall to you, so somewhere, depending on where Albert was stood, somewhere between 40 and 80 feet away from you, so
Okay.
a reasonable distance. And if Samuel was hanging out sort of halfway up the building, then he's probably a similar distance away from you. So,
yes, the drawing on the wall. It's of, well, they seem to represent constellations, but they're not the ones that we would recognize. The strange thing is that, I had a bit of a funny turn last night. These are the constellations I saw. Just for a second. I thought
I guess I'll shine my light on it now and be like, what do you mean you saw in a drawing? Or
No, just when I was looking past Sir John at the sky, I thought I was having a head rush, a momentary spell of dizziness. I could have sworn I saw those constellations in the sky.
exactly as drawn here.
I'll turn around and study them again and sort of just, yes, this.
Jonny, would we have overheard this conversation?
I think Edmund was purposefully keeping it so that you wouldn't.
That was the intention.
Yeah. I think you're a far enough distance away that if he were trying to keep it, you may have heard that a conversation was ongoing, potentially, because it's quiet, but you wouldn't have heard what was being said.
Can I go back to the drawing and look more closely? And is it recent? Is it...
No. It resembles sort of your classic cave drawing kind of image.
So I think Albert will say, looking at it then as well, presumably. So this ancient drawing of constellations is what you saw in the night sky last night.
Now you put it like that, it sounds ridiculous.
Well, I mean, what I heard last night sounded pretty ridiculous too.
I mean, I am aware of deja vu and the feeling of having seen things before, but this is a different place.
Mr. Carter, when I saw that damned cat charge into this fort here, I thought it was something else, something inhuman. I'm certain I was wrong about that now, but we're all seeing strange things at the moment. I don't know what's going on here, but
did you hear about the the hare? Did you catch that?
Miss Smith mentioned the story. I never known a hare to behave like that.
No.
Very odd. And how are you seeing this? What does it mean, though? Does the constellations mean anything? Do you know about stars and this sort of thing?
I mean, I have a certain amount of knowledge of our. Well, yes, I study astronomy. Can I look more closely at the figures now and try and do they make any sort of sense? Can I determine anything from them?
They are not constellations that you recognize. So it's not just because you're relatively good on astronomy, aren't you, Edmund?
Yes, 65.
So
if one was to grade
so it's not just he'd kind of be aware if it were ones that you could see from somewhere else on the planet, right. But it's not that they're just from the wrong angle or something. Like they don't look like constellations that you recognize.
Mm-hmm.
But you saw them last night, as far as you're concerned.
I do wonder, again, with all of this notion of trickery, I do wonder whether we're being fed certain experiences, so to speak.
I do also, but this is very elaborate.
Yes.
To what
if I had my own food with me, I might watch what I was eating and drinking, but
feel enough of a fool. I don't think that's the point of this all.
No.
I think Eliza and Samuel will have either headed over towards you two, noticing that you're together now, or headed towards the exit, potentially, having found... Well, Eliza having found a small hole and nothing else she was looking for, and Samuel probably having played with his camera.
I think Samuel will walk up to Edmund and Albert at this point. Not kind of stealthily, but just just enjoying the conversation.
Same.
So, what is it we have here?
What do you make of this, Mr. Thomas? I would be interested to hear your opinion, and I'll shine the light on the wall.
So let me just look at my science skill. Okay. So I think Samuel would sort of recognize that this might be a representation of stars, but nothing more than that, and probably doesn't know our night sky very well.
Yeah.
If that's fair. It looks like night sky. Is that correct?
Well, it's a night sky, presumably, but these don't match our own. The constellations we can see from here. Could I possibly trouble you to? Are you good with that device, Mr. Thomas? Can you?
Yes, as long as you can hold the torch up. Do you want me to capture this for you?
It might be entertaining. Yes, I can attempt to sketch it, but I think it might be beneficial to record it in a more accurate format, if possible.
Okay, I'm happy to help. Please, if you can just keep the torch steady.
Certainly.
So yeah, Samuel will kind of take a couple steps back, adjust himself a little bit, and then take a photo.
Okay. Yeah. Got the photo.
So I'm afraid I won't be able to get this to you anytime soon, Mr. Carter, but yes, perhaps we can give me your address and I will pass it on to you.
Certainly.
I remember.
So
that
do we
story.
think this was with the fort?
It seems old. It doesn't. My knowledge of history is not great, but it doesn't seem recent. That's for sure.
Strange place to capture this. And I wonder why you would capture it.
I might try.
I was going to say, Eliza probably, once you saw her looking at constellation and stuff, probably not very interested in that, might have started slowly wandering back towards the entrance to see, just poke her head out there. So.
I'll try to do my best
the woman
to-
is gone who was at the stream, by the way, so nobody around as you here.
Yeah, I'll try and sketch a quick sort of representation of it before I leave.
Yeah.
I think Albert kind of hangs around with Edmund until he's done.
So, Mr. Carter, sorry, how would you describe this for my own notes?
Something of a mystery. I can't explain it myself at this point. No.
Perhaps it's
Just
a
a
poor.
cave art. Yes.
Very good. Well, at least I shall come away with something of interest.
I think Albert is quietly smoking a cigar behind you both, and kind of watching the wall and listening to your conversation.
Miss Smith, did you spot anything?
She's outside.
Oh, sorry.
As you say that and turn around, you realise I'm not standing behind you anymore.
It's somebody else.
Yes, you see Eliza sort of silhouetted at the door. I believe you stood like literally in the doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, you'll see the silhouette of Eliza in the doorway.
Samuel start talking and then go, oh, and then start walking that way.
I will
Yes, at
probably
least-
follow you unless Mr. Carter stays.
At least we know nothing else is resident here. That is a comfort.
Indeed. I still wonder why it came to live here. Or at least came to attack. And why was it coming in again? Whatever. Doesn't make sense to me. I think I will have one final slightly grumpy scuff round, actually, and kind of just like, there should have been traces of animal here somewhere, and then head out.
Okay. Everybody heading out and heading back. You're heading back towards the castle?
Well, we best be heading back. I don't want to miss whatever this big announcement is.
Is anybody looking back towards the fort as you head towards the castle?
Oh, there's a leading question.
I was
Just interested.
my logic was that Albert was thinking about Willie in the lodge and considering going back to see him. So if I glance back towards the lodge, would I see the fort?
You would, yes.
Yeah. So that was literally what I was going to say. Was Albert's thinking about going back to the lodge? So yes, I see the fort.
Okay. Yeah. So the fort is kind of here. The kind of residence is here, and the castle's sort of up here on a raised bit. So you have to pass the house from the fort to get to a bridge where you then go up to. So yeah, if you pass the house and then look back towards it, you would still see the fort back past there. So Albert sees a hare stood in the doorway of the fort.
Albert will
looking directly towards him.
Albert will stop immediately and stare at the hare.
Its ear twitches.
Albert will like make an aggressive gesture at the hare. Like, just like move like in a way that would scare an animal is my thinking. Like suddenly like at it.
Well, not flicking at the V's.
It remains. It remains. And
stop that he's just stopped moving. And...
Yeah, you definitely have heard me shout at the hare.
Okay.
After a while of Albert looking at it as well.
Albert might draw his gun, so no, it's not going to be that long.
If Eliza sees him looking at it and say, "That's the thing I want you to shoot,"
Go on, Jonny.
It blinks, but kind of takes about 2 milliseconds longer than you would expect it to, just long enough for it to feel uneasy.
Albert definitely tries to shoot it.
Okay. As you are literally sort of squeezing the trigger, it hops backwards into the fort.
Okay. Damn.
And into the darkness.
Okay, well, in that case, Albert does say, damn. Do I fire the shot, or does it do it just before I fire the shot?
It's just before you fire. So
I won't shoot then. Yeah. Okay. I think Albert will just go, damnation.
Do you want to shoot the damn thing?
Don't like animals staring at me like that. It's not them who do the staring. Almost like a hunter.
Well, how far away are we from it? Would it be a bit of a trek to head back in that direction now, or are we close enough that it's sort of reasonable to sort of, just turn back and try and
you're about 50 meters. I'm giving you all the different units of measurement this evening.
Yards, meters, thumbs next, yeah. I think Albert stands there kind of momentarily flustered and doesn't do anything immediately. So,
all right. Having suggested going back to shoot it, if Albert doesn't make a move, I don't think I'll push it.
I think if Eliza starts walking, he would follow, but if she stays put, he wouldn't start going himself. I think I'm a bit unsettled by this hair to the extent that I'm not sure I just want to go and try and shoot it. There's something weird going on.
I think actually, again, as your first interaction with it for Albert, I will leave it up to you whether you want to make a sanity roll for this.
I'm going to, because I've seen a lot of hares in my time, and that is not what hares do. And I fail. 98.
Okay. One sanity loss, please.
Yeah, Albert's definitely just stock still. He's like a little. He doesn't really react anyway, but he's like holding the gun up and just staring wide-eyed.
So no,
did we all see it?
You'll have all seen it, yeah. If you've turned around to see Albert, because he'd stopped, then yes, you'll have seen it.
So now you've seen it too.
Can't be the only one who wants rabbit for dinner now, can I?
Could it be sick?
I've never seen them do that ever.
I think Albert just goes, I don't. Just no animal should behave like that. Not sick. Mad, maybe. I don't. Doesn't make sense though.
It's a fair way from the house as well.
We'll get it next time we spot him.
Was the lodge, the residences for the staff not far away? Did you say, Jonny?
Yes, you're very near that when you turn around. So,
I'm definitely okay. So I kind of holster my gun and then start walking off towards that, rather than heading up to the main castle building instead.
Okay. Is everybody else going with Albert, or waiting here, or continuing back to the castle?
You can question me. It's just what I've.
Yeah, I'll wait with Albert.
Yeah, sticking together. That's
If you all kind of follow me, after a second I'll just go. I just wanted to check on my man again. Also, perhaps ask after if he's seen any strange animals, or I suppose knows anything about this. Thomas, was it?
Would we have interpreted that as I want a bit of time to myself or not?
That wasn't how I was trying to say it. It was by way of explanation. So yeah, I bang on the door. I assume.
Yeah. Okay. So Agnes answers, who had been at the stream just moments earlier, and says, "Oh, hello. Are you looking for your man?
Yes.
Willie, is it?
Yeah. Yes, Willie.
Give me a moment.
Agnes, was it? Thank you.
Yes. And she kind of runs off, and a moment later, Willie appears from a door on the side of this hallway. Mr. Moore, hello, sir. How can I help?
Yes, Willie. Would you like to take a little walk with us, and then I'll kind of go around the group and introduce Mr. Carter, Miss Smith, and Miss Smith met him, Mr. Carter and Mr. Thomas.
Hello, both.
And then I kind of like I'm deliberately having a little walk away from the lodge, so we're not talking with the staff right there, and be like, always with the strange questions at the moment. Again, I'm pale now. This is another time when I've just suffered sanity loss, so he notices I'm like flustered again, I suppose. But I'm trying to be all cool because I'm around these.
Are you
folks.
okay, Mr. Moore?
Ah, yes. Now there's bloody animals acting strange. Have you seen anything?
Oh, I heard about the big cat, which I hear you took down with great aplomb, Mr. Moore.
Well, as I say, Sir John really got the first shot. But yes, the beast is dead, thankfully. But no, have you seen anything else? Other animals have been acting damn strange around here, not like I've ever seen anyway.
No, I don't. Not that I can think of.
That's so bad for Willie. It's just there, like, the fuck is wrong with Albert? Sorry.
No, I don't think so. There's been a couple of birds have landed on my windowsill. That's been nice, but not anything strange, I don't think.
You haven't had any walks around the grounds or anything yourself much?
A little, but only staying relatively nearby. I've seen a couple of fish in the loch there, and a couple of ducks.
Yeah, we caught a few fish actually. It wasn't bad. Anyway, and nothing else odd then, presumably.
No.
Did you hear about this terrible business with one of the staff members here a while ago? Was it? I can't remember how long it was, and I kind of glanced at the group.
2 weeks. A bloke called Thomas, not the journalist.
No, I haven't. I mean, I can add it to my my list of things to try and covertly speak to the staff about if you want, sir.
I don't want to ask you too much, Willie. It's just animals acting weird, I've noticed, and then apparently Thomas was killed by one of them.
Oh
Very
my!
odd place this. Yes, I know.
No,
Well,
like I say, the only thing they've really mentioned is that a few people have been let go and they all seem overworked. Which I think I mentioned to you previously, that they're all a little overwrought with how much they have to do.
Yes. Well, what were the circumstances of the letting go?
I don't know, sir. I try and find out, but whether or not the staff know the reasons that that people have been let go is difficult to say.
Yes, I'm sure. Oh, I don't pay you for any of this, do I, Willie? As in, I mean, not paying him for the covert stuff, you know what I mean? I do pay him. I'm not that bad an owner.
Oh, I'm kept very well, sir.
Yes, well, again, I guess I've kind of just done a short loop and we're kind of back at the house again now. And I'm just like, well, again, take care of yourself. You know where to find me if anything comes up.
Yes, of course, sir. And you know where to find me if anything's the matter.
And I think Albert ponders asking for his shotgun. And then it's kind of like, is it uncouth to have a shotgun in your room? And then I think Albert just kind of goes, could I have my shotgun and a few shells in case I have to dispatch another animal on short notice?
Yes, of course. He heads inside, and you hear the kind of the sort of rattling of a lockbox that your weapon is in.
Willie's always very
of a couple of shells and brings them out. So yeah, it's in a sort of leather case. He hands you that and some shells. Mm-hmm. Should I be concerned that you think you need this, sir?
Willie, I can tell you're already concerned. To be honest, I am myself as well. Anyway.
I mean, forgive me, sir, if this isn't proper, but would it be good for me to come and stay in the castle as well as an extra pair of eyes of a night? I don't.
I would like to. Albert's trying to judge whether this is Willie trying to genuinely just come for Albert, or Willie is a little uncomfortable with all the weird stuff going on and is kind of like, I'm just in a strange house and would maybe feel more comfortable not just being there.
From what you know of Willie as a person, and from what he's said about not having seen anything weird, you think he's probably worried about you, because the times that you've come here, you've either been incredibly pale, having witnessed something really weird, or asked him for a gun.
Yeah.
So he's, this is supposed to be a relatively nice getaway for his boss.
Yeah.
And it isn't. So, yeah.
Albert sort of quickly declines and is quite embarrassed in front of everyone else. And then changes the subject rapidly to just be like, no, and you've been doing an excellent job on the guns, by the way. Look, very, very clean, well oiled. I'm pleased to see. I'll see you later. I'll be in touch if I need anything, as I say.
Yes. Okay. So yes. He kind of watches as you all leave.
Oh God, poor Willie. Can't take this. So terrible. It's so much worse when it's all right when it's like you guys, but this is the classic Cthulhu moment when everything's going crazy for you and there's someone watching you just like, it's all fine. What are you talking about? You're like, no, it's not. But I'm not crazy. So.
As you are heading back up to the castle, can everybody make me a spot hidden roll, please?
I'm not sure what to make this now.
Yeah, I pass.
I also pass.
That is
65.
Yeah, 11 for 55 here, so a good pass.
We get tick.
You can tick that.
Nice.
27 out of 65 for me.
Ooh, tick as well.
Okay. So, over to the northeast, as you are walking here, it's a very clear day. So as you're heading back up towards the castle, you can see for miles, and you just happen to notice along the shoreline in the distance is another castle that you can see. And that's it.
It wasn't like it's a castle that wasn't there before, or
You
haven't noticed it before, but it was night when you were walking around last night, and then it was stressful this morning. So,
I mean, we were on the loch though, fishing. So you'd think in that time
that's lower.
I see.
That's in a sort of dipped area, so you
see.
wouldn't have seen it from there.
No problem. Okay, that's fair. Does it look quite eldritch?
Just castle-y, more castle-y than eldritch.
Damage.
So, yes, are you heading back into the castle?
Yeah. Your friend, Robert was. He's from around these parts. It's not his residence, is it? That castle?
Aye, but not that close. I think he's a little way south of here. He might know the area, though. We could ask about it.
Oh, perhaps it's the Duchess's place.
Perhaps.
So you go back into the dining area. It is around lunchtime now, so you're probably expecting some food to be appearing now, if not soon. And sure enough, everybody is sat around the tables here, including Sir John, except the journalist. Thomas is not here.
He went to go take a picture of his animal, did he?
Did anybody... He was going to get his camera, wasn't he?
Was he?
Where was he staying?
He said something about not having his camera and wanting to go out and have a look at the carcass. Don't know whether he meant run up to his rooms and fetch a camera.
Which cottage? Because he was staying outside the castle, wasn't he? Which?
That's right. Yeah, he was in the cottages. Oh, were the cottages quite close to where the carcass was left, or were they a bit kind of further off?
So the the body of the cat was kind of left relatively sort of level, north-south wise to the castle, and the cottages are sort of 100 meters north of the castle.
I wonder if anyone else has seen him.
I think Albert probably thinks that a man could go and do what he wants in this time and has probably just gone to have a wander and is quite hungry, so Albert's going to be sitting down to eat.
I'm sure he'll be along soon.
Yes, perhaps just writing up his story.
Mm-hmm. You must be relieved. Is the Duchess is here, is she?
Yes.
Yeah. You must be relieved, a little reprieve from his questioning.
Well, yes, he's quite persistent.
Hopefully you've had a moment's peace with him being off somewhere else.
Yes, I mean, attention isn't all bad, of course.
Of course. Well, what have you been up to then over the last hour or so while we've been back adventuring over by the fort? Spot of tennis? No, just relaxing here, having some nice conversation with Robert and Mary and Sir John here. Yes, I've been missing Albert's cigars though. I've run out, Albert. So, if we were to share later, that would be greatly appreciated.
I think I'm smoking a cigar as he says this, and I kind of nod and then pick out a cigar and light it from the one I have and hand it to him.
Much obliged. Sir John sort of looks at the clock and says, "Where is Mr. Walker?"
Was he due to be here lunchtime, did you say?
Well, I would have thought he'd arrive here if not before. I expected him back momentarily after he left, to be honest. I didn't think
he didn't say he was going anywhere then?
Only last I heard, the lovely folks here said that he was heading out for a picture of the beastie, but that's long since gone and he's not returned.
I guess I can have a look around. He says that and say, "You didn't say anything to anyone else then? Strange."
Has anybody been over to his cottage to check in on him?
No. As the Duchess says, we've just been enjoying a nice drink here and a relax after the morning's excitement.
Might be worth sending someone so Jonny could have had a fall or something.
Yes. So John kind of beckons to a member of the kitchen staff who's on their way in and out of the kitchen. And says, "Would you phone the residents and send somebody up to the cottages to check on our guest, Mr. Walker? He's been gone quite a while." Disappears off. A few moments pass. Are you doing anything in that time other than having conversation with those around you?
Is lunch being served?
Yeah, is food being served or any other motions being made?
It's kind of Sir John's kind of commented that it'd be polite to wait and see if Thomas is going to arrive.
I will have another cup of tea and relax. I don't think there's anything else specifically.
Eliza maybe to pull out her engraved cigarette case and light a cigarette.
I think Samuel will take his camera up to his room before kind of the meal starts.
Yes, I'll put my torch away as well. So I'll head back to my room and back down again.
Okay. So a few moments later, the door to the dining hall opens, and Agnes walks in and walks over to Sir John and has a quiet word in his ear, and then goes to leave again, passing your group.
How does she look?
A little shaken, and she actually gives you four a bit of a strange look, but almost as if she's afraid of you.
The group of us. Afraid of us.
Yeah.
Weird.
Not like terrified of you, but more less afraid, more suspicious. Sort of between suspicion and fear.
Okay.
And we didn't hear anything that she said.
No.
Yeah.
I guess basically as soon as Agnes is not talking to Sir John, does Sir John say anything?
Not while she's on her way out.
Okay. I will probably wait and then as well until she's gone out.
So she leaves, and Sir John stands and looks at you four and says, well, it appears that Mr. Walker, for the time being, may be missing.
Missing?
And young Agnes there believes that you four may have been the last to see him. And we'll leave it there.
As in, we left the building with him. I mean, that's quite fun, actually. I hadn't even thought of that.
Wow.
Okay.
Agnes.
Albert's not losing his mind and picking up on his guns or anything. He's not suspicious at all.
Yeah, every time she sees you, you're more armed.
Yeah, I actually think I came into this room and set my shotgun like down somewhere in the corner, and it's still there. That's the worst part. Oh, Albert's not looking good.
Found shot. So
yeah, if I'd fired that shot at the rabbit, oh no.
Oh god, yeah, that would have maybe been a bit more sus.
Damn.
Cool. I hope everybody's enjoyed that. If you have any questions or comments, please pop them in the chat now. And John can put those up on screen for us, and we can discuss those. Now I'm going to do the rundown of what's on again, and it's going to be really confusing. So this week, tonight is obviously Call of Cthulhu. Tomorrow is Blades in the Dark, but normally on a Tuesday it'd be Vampire the Masquerade, but it's on a break at the moment, so that will be back at some point probably. But at the moment it's Blades in the Dark on a Tuesday starting tomorrow. On a Wednesday, this week it's going to be a bit of a roundtable discussion about role-playing news and current and new role-playing stuff and the state of role-playing in 2021, all that stuff. Next week, it's going to be the beginning of Coriolis, which is a space-based free league RPG. Again, that's to fill a gap in this end of arc for Simba Room, which is normally on a Wednesday. And then this Saturday is the first Saturday of a month, and that means that it is one of our monthly one-shots. And this month, it is The Expanse, which Chris, who plays in Simba Room, is going to be running. It's his first time running something on the channel, so watch that and be supportive. And on Sunday, every 2 Sundays, we have a guest spot on the Free League Twitch, running Simba Room, and this is an on-week, so that is on Sunday, and the story is titled Fetters of Stone. So this week, Tuesday, Blades in the Dark, Wednesday, roundtable discussion, Saturday, The Expanse, Sunday, Simba Room on the Free League Twitch, which Steve has handily put a link for a little bit up in the chat, and that'll probably get put in there again towards the end.
Steve, you're such
that's
a troll.
that. And thanks to More Choir, Enzo Palmer 27, Cosmic Fist, Dave of Stoft, Pyodome, Michael Porter, and Damakos Virago for following during this stream. Very much appreciated. If I pronounced any of those badly, then I'm really sorry. Yes, questions or comments, pop them in. John will pop them up on screen. Does Albert have a holy hand grenade?
Wish Albert had a holy hand grenade. I'm sure he does as well. I mean, he has like a big carriage, so who knows what's in there? You know, maybe I'll bring out all sorts of things throughout the story, and I'll see if Jonny questions me.
Yeah, just slightly upgrading every time he goes to visit Willie.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I'd like my MG42, please. Yeah, if I have one.
I just imagine Willie's room to be like in John Wick when he goes to see Peter Serafinowicz and just gets all of these guns. Only Jonny can scare players with a rabbit. Thanks, Steve. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, that was pretty. I'd say it's an achievement to do that. It was genuinely unsettling. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good. I'm happy with that.
I'm getting overly paranoid at everything now.
Yeah, exactly.
The star chart is really freaky.
The what? The star chart?
The constellations.
Yeah, seeing completely different constellations. I like that. I poor Edmund as well, because that must be very confusing for him. And we're all here like, it looks like stars, and you're like, no, it's not right.
Yeah, that's not great.
Oh, I love Samuel's response. Was like, yeah, it's some stars.
Is that the night sky? I don't know.
I'm surprised Edmund didn't try and strangle him or something at that point.
It's both unsettling and annoying at the same time.
Probably is the night sky for somewhere.
Yeah.
Cool. John says that's everything from chat. Thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't watched Darkwood, then go check it out on YouTube. And if you want a recap of what's happening this week, then please wait until the stream has ended and watch the VOD because I can't go through that again. I'm kidding. Tuesday's Blades in the Dark, Wednesday's Roundtable, Saturday is The Expanse, Sunday on the Free League Twitch is Simba Room.
Amazing. Well done.
Enjoy watching all of that this week and catch you next week for more spooky hairs. Bye, everybody.
Bye.